In 2007, if you were a world leader, a Wall Street shark, or a celebrity, you didn't just have a phone, you had a BlackBerry. It was the crackberry, an addictive, secure, clicking machine that owned 50% of the global market. But in just 5 years, that empire didn't just shrink, it vanished. This is the blueprint of how an $80 billion giant was killed by a single glass screen and its own arrogance. Founded in a small office in Canada, Research in Motion solved a problem no one else could: secure, instant, mobile email. Their physical keyboard was iconic. It gave you tactile feedback that made you feel like a pro. By 2008, their stock was at an all-time high of $140. They were untouchable. They thought they owned the future because they owned the business person. But they forgot one thing: business people are also human beings. January 9th, 2007. Steve Jobs walks onto a stage and pulls a piece of glass out of his pocket. The iPhone. BlackBerry's leadership laughed. They called it a toy with terrible battery life. They were so focused on the keyboard that they missed the revolution. By the time BlackBerry realized the world wanted fun more than function, the race was already over. In 2016, the company that invented the smartphone announced it would stop making them forever. Success is a terrible teacher. It makes you think you can't lose. If you don't disrupt yourself, someone else will do it for you. This has been The Blueprint. Subscribe to master the game of business. To understand the fall, you have to understand the addiction. In the early 2000s, if you didn't have a BlackBerry, you were out of the loop. It wasn't just a phone. It was a status symbol. They called it the crackberry because of the red blinking light that told you instantly that you had an email. Before the iPhone, RIM pioneered push technology. You didn't check your email checked you. And then there was BBM. BlackBerry Messenger was the first real social network on a phone. It used a pin system that created an exclusive club. If you saw someone with that clickable QWERTY keyboard, you knew they were a player. By 2007, Research in Motion was worth nearly $80 billion. They had the politicians, the celebrities, and the entire Fortune 500 in their pocket. They were the kings of the hill, and from the top, they couldn't see the wave that was about to crush them. When Steve Jobs pulled the iPhone out of his pocket in 2007, the BlackBerry CEOs didn't panic. They laughed. Mike Lazaridis, the engineering genius behind the brand, thought the iPhone was an impossible device that would break the cellular networks. He believed people would never give up a physical keyboard for a piece of glass. It was pure arrogance. By the time they realized the world wanted apps and internet more than email, it was too late. In a desperate move, they rushed the BlackBerry Storm to market. It was their first touch-screen phone, and it was a disaster. Employees privately called it the shitstorm. The screen was buggy, the software crashed, and almost 100% of the units sold were returned. For the first time, the blueprint was broken. The kings were bleeding, and Apple was just getting started. By the time BlackBerry released the Bold and the Classic, they weren't just fighting Apple. They were fighting Google, Android, and an entire world that had moved on. In 2016, the company that once held 50% of the market officially stopped making their own phones. Today, BlackBerry is a software company, a ghost of the giant it used to be. So, what is the blueprint here? Success is a dangerous teacher. It makes you think that what worked yesterday will work forever. BlackBerry didn't fail because they were lazy. They failed because they were too good at the old game, and they refused to learn the new one. If you don't disrupt yourself, someone else will do it for you. Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you want to master the game of business, one failure at a time, hit the subscribe button and join us as we deconstruct the world's most iconic brands. This has been The Blueprint. I'll see you in the next one.